You never quite know what to expect out on the water, just like some of the things we'll see in this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. Our first story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to Maryland in the port of Baltimore, where this was the scene just a little over a day ago, where crews made a major advancement in efforts to try and refloat the cargo vessel, the Dolly, which has been stuck in the port of Baltimore for nearly 7 weeks after having an engine failure and colliding with a bridge. Crews used explosives to actually tear apart the 4,000-ton piece of the key bridge that had still laid on top of the vessel since the incident occurred. Local authorities claim that now that this piece has been removed from the vessel, it's an integral part of their next phase of their plan, which is to try and get the Dolly refloated and actually back over to the port where a full damage assessment can be done to the vessel. Local officials have not given a timeline yet as to when they fully expect this vessel to be out of the river, but early estimates claim it could happen as early as today or as late as the end of next week, just depending on how difficult the job proves to be to actually get the vessel refloated now that the bridge is off of it. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to California, where this was the scene just a little over a week ago when 4 people had to be rescued after their vessel capsized in the middle of Tamales Bay. The Marion County Fire Department was first alerted to the incident and actually reached out to the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office for assistance, who was able to then send one of the Sheriff's Office helicopters out toward the bay to assist in recovering the 4 individuals who were on board the capsized vessel. Video footage released from the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office shows the rescue operation in action. Fortunately for this crew, the helicopter actually reached the individuals in a matter of minutes after being notified of the incident. Apparently, the helicopter was actually already in the area doing an in-water rescue demonstration at the Bodega Bay Fisherman's Festival, which meant it was an easy transition for this crew as they went straight from doing a demonstration on how to perform this activity to doing the live rescue as we see in the images here. Fortunately, due to the quick reaction times of everybody involved, the incident actually only took approximately 45 minutes from the moment the vessel capsized to the final person being dropped back off on shore. They used a local residence as a staging area where they were able to take the passengers from the capsized vessel and drop them back off at this local residence where awaiting first responders were there to medically check them out. Fortunately, in this situation, no injuries were reported. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to Italy, where this was the scene just this past weekend as a Moby ferry, the Moby Kiss, was entering port when all of a sudden the vessel wound up colliding with the metal staircase that is used by the passengers to board and disembark the vessel. The incident occurred in Piombino, Italy. Moby at this time has not released an official statement, but locals are reporting that they believe the incident was caused due to an engine failure on board the ferry as it approached the dock. Following the incident, the ferry remained dockside for the rest of Saturday. Moby wound up canceling the rest of its ferry services for that day. Fortunately, they were able to resume services on Sunday as scheduled. Now, as we mentioned, the owner of the ferry service Moby at this time has not released an official statement, so we're not sure if there's any damage involved to the vessel. Obviously, as we can see from the video footage, the stairs definitely were inflicted damage during the incident, but no injuries were reported during this incident. Now, one of the things that does show up in the video that's a telling sign of some sort of mechanical failure is right here. If you look as they're approaching the vessel, you're going to notice the captain had actually deployed the anchor during the incident, which shows a sign that they were trying to stop the vessel, so they'd either probably lost steering or they probably had a malfunction in an engine during the incident. But we're going to have to wait for an official report from one of the companies involved before we know exactly what happened. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here, just like Adam Coolidge did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.